Hey, this is Gentle Giant and Sweet Pea. We took a road trip today for about 6 hours all the way to Oklahoma, and we're driving back the same day to Texas. So it's been a long day. We got up at 7 this morning, and we expect to get home around 10 or 11 tonight. So how's everyone doing? Just wanted to check in with you and say hi and say everything is going to be okay. You're driving down the road tonight thinking about a good time of relaxation, a good time to fall asleep. And since you're just virtually driving down the road, it's okay if you fall asleep. But we can't fall asleep because we're actually driving down the road right now. So we stopped shortly ago and I got a coffee, and Sweet Pea I think she got a Diet Coke, is that right?
That is correct.
So every gas station is different. So at this one I was like, okay guys, I see that I see the coffee machine, but where's the sugar and the creamer? Because I wanted Splenda, I wanted some diet sugar to keep my diet going. And so they said, well, it's this machine right here. You just put your cup under it and you push the button, and then voila, powdered Splenda comes out, and you push the other button and hold your cup under it, and powdered creamer comes out. So it was very nice. So I'm thinking about what else happened today. But I can't think of what else to say. Sweet Pea, do you want to say anything?
You saw lightning strikes.
Yeah, we saw some lightning strikes.
Big old raindrops.
And some big old raindrops it made the driving a little scary because people are going 70 miles an hour and you can barely see out your windshield. I don't know if you've thought about it, but this highway that we're going down, it's kind of like gives you highway hypnotism. It's just you're getting very sleepy, very, very sleepy. Your eyes are getting heavy. Your eyelids are getting heavy. Oh, I hear the turn signal. We must be going to change lanes. And we successfully changed lanes. We took, Sweet Pea and I took turns driving today, so we each got to have a break. Even though I've lost a lot of weight, my rear still gets a little sore sitting in the car so long. So hopefully it'll get better and better as time progresses, and we get in better and better health. And thank you to those of you that wished us good health recently. It's very, very meaningful, and I hope that all of you are in good health. So how do you like the road going, the cars going by on the road and the straps on the road moving? For me, it's really relaxing, even though I'm bouncing around. I like it. So I'm not going to put a lot of production into this video. I think I'll just launch it up and let you guys enjoy it. And you can, hopefully my voice isn't too loud because I'm not whispering, I'm just doing a soft spoken. But who knows if my soft spoken is just too loud and it's really a loud spoken. Oh, Sweet Pea laughed at that. So I'm trying to think what else we saw of interest. We saw something interesting. We saw a sign that said Amish restaurant, and we didn't go there, but I thought that was interesting. And they said they were serving breakfast all day long.
And you saw the cattle getting into the water.
Yeah, we saw a pond it had about 10 cattle, and when I went by the first time, it had 4 cattle in the water, just up to all their legs were all the way in the water. And then when we drove back the other way, they had about 10 cows in the water. They were just enjoying their little soak in the water here in Oklahoma. And I mean, it wasn't like the temperature was all that hot today. Sometimes in Texas and Oklahoma, you need to really soak a lot when you're in the summer, especially if you're a cow. But these cows seem to be enjoying it. And we saw some goats along the road. We saw cows and goats, and then we saw some horses.
I saw some longhorn.
Okay, yeah, I saw one longhorn, and Sweet Pea saw some longhorn cattle. Also, I saw a dinosaur that was about 8 foot tall, and it was just a skeleton, and they had it up on top of a fence. It probably wasn't a real dinosaur, but it was kind of entertaining. So, what else did we see today? We saw some nice storm clouds when we first started heading south. No tornadoes, but just nice storm clouds, interesting storm clouds. I think that's a casino there, because the Indian reservations have some casinos along the road here in Oklahoma. And originally, the United States gave the whole state of Oklahoma to the Indians whenever we were moving them around unjustly during the history of the United States. I guess more properly we should call them Native Americans. But before them, there were some other Native Americans, I think, that 2,000 or 3,000 years ago. But anyway, so they have some casinos here and some land that they still have in Oklahoma. And used to, gambling was pretty much illegal in this part of the United States. We didn't even have the lottery in Texas. So when the reservations were technically not part of the United States, or they had their own sovereign control to some degree. So they were able to have casinos, and people would drive up here to Oklahoma to go to the casinos to gamble. So that's kind of the story behind that. So it's kind of Oklahoma's mostly lots of trees. We saw lots of trees, and there's lots of hills in this part of Oklahoma, and we're in the eastern side of Oklahoma. Out in western Oklahoma, it becomes more flat land and less trees. I remember in history that the western Oklahoma actually became what was called the Dust Bowl because of the way the crops were handled. The whole state, the dust just started blowing, and erosion took place, and it became a really bad situation for a long time. But hopefully we've learned better lessons on how to take care of our plants and our farming now. So my family's all from Texas, which is near Dallas, all the way back to my dad's side goes back to the 1850s probably, that we came to Texas. And then the North Texas, and then my grandmother's side of the family came from East Texas, kind of over near Louisiana. So we all migrated into Texas. I guess before the 1850s, there were quite a few. There weren't a lot of people from Europe here. So I guess there was some dispute between Mexico and the United States over who would get Texas, and eventually Texas was a sovereign nation for a little while, and then it joined up with the United States, and a lot of migration took place here and made changes to this part of the country. So this whole land has Native American tribes in various places, or history in various places. When we were kids, just south of Fort Worth, where my dad grew up, and I used to play. Dad could go out after they plowed the field and find arrowheads from the Indians, and they would date back to I don't know how long, but eventually they got most of the arrowheads. I never could find any arrowheads, but I searched a whole lot in the fields. But I think that as they were plowing over and over, they found most of them. So my dad has a whole collection of arrowheads that he keeps from when he was a kid. So I hope that you enjoyed this little talk. That my voice was comforting, and that you enjoyed the movement of the road. And we will look forward to seeing you in more videos in the future. Thank you for all your kind words and support, everyone. And thank you, Jules and Julian and Siskus, for your special support. Have a great night.